Discuss the role of the Vice President of India as the Chairman of Rajya Sabha. We need to give an introduction, include constitutional provisions with respect to the Vice President, Supreme Court judgments, amendments, and conclusion. The Vice President of India holds a unique and pivotal role in the Indian judicial system. He serves as the ex officio chairman, that is, he is the default chairman of Rajya Sabha, Council of the States, the upper house of the parliament. The dual responsibility underscores the vice president's. He is the vice president as well as he is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. This is what we comment as dual responsibility. Dual responsibility underscores the vice president's influence in both the executive and legislative. He is an executive post. Vice president is an executive post, but he is the head of a legislative branch. He is the chairman, right? A chairman of a legislative branch. So this is a dual responsibility. That is, he functions as an executive. At the same time, he is the chairman of a legislative council. That is Rajya Sabha, the Council of the States. The role of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha is crucial in ensuring the smooth functioning of the House, maintaining the decorum and upholding the constitutional framework within which the Rajya Sabha operates. Now we have to see constitutional provisions. We are just having four articles related to president, vice president. Article 63, 64, 65, and 89. 63 is it establishes an office of vice president of India. So office of vice president of India is a constitutional post. And in 64, it states that Vice President is the ex officio chairman of the Council of the States and shall not hold any other office of profit. So the two articles represent his functions as an executive and his functions as the head of the legislature. Head of the legislature in the sense, I mean, he is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So Article 63 deals with the Vice President and 64 is the ex officio chairman of the Council of States. He is the ex officio chairman. He is the default chairman of the Council of States. Now, directly moving to Article 65, provides a vice president to act as the president in case of vacancy in the office of the president. Only in case of vacancy, if there is a vacancy, the vice president must act. Right? He is acting as the president. So Article 63, 64, 65. His role as vice president, his role as acting president, AP, and his role as the chairman of the Council of States. That is upper house Rajya Sabha. 63, 64, 65. Now we have to go for Article 89. Details the chairman and the deputy chairman of the Council of the States. It specifies that vice president shall be the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Now, further moving on. Now, here, the constitutionality of the vice president is mentioned in Article 63, and the vice president is entitled to act as a chairman, is mentioned in Article 64. Now, chairman needs to be mentioned, right? So, he is mentioned in Article 89. There shall be a chairman and deputy chairman of the Council of the States, and the vice chairman is the ex officio, sorry, vice president is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Understood. That is why even though Article 64 and 89 are more or less similar, Article 64 mentions about the vice president, whereas Article 89 gives a constitutional position for chairman and deputy chairman. The role and the functions of the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Right. So you can use vice president as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He is a presiding officer. This is the first and the basic point. He is the presiding officer. So, what does the presiding officer do? Does so. For every session, he needs to ensure the orderly conduct of the business. The chairman decides on the point of order and maintains decorum and discipline in the house. So, he needs to maintain decorum. At the same time, he needs to maintain discipline in the house. So, we have the presiding officer. The chairman, the vice president is the presiding officer. The chairman's duty is to preside over the sessions of Rajya Sabha. We have various sessions. He needs to preside over the sessions of Rajya Sabha. He needs to ensure the orderly conduct of business. The chairman decides on the point of order and maintains order and decorum, discipline in the house. Custodian of the privileges. He needs to protect the privileges of the house, safeguard the privileges of Rajya Sabha and its members, ensuring that the proceedings are conducted within the constitutional procedural framework. Decisions on questions of disqualification under defection, anti-defection, 10th schedule. The chairman decides on the questions of disqualification on the grounds of defection. The first is he is the presiding officer. He needs to preside and he needs to maintain the sessions of the house, orderly function of the house. And the second is he is the custodian of privileges. Disqualification. The third one is related to disqualification. Now we have casting oath. In instances of tie, he adds a casting oath to break the deadlock, but otherwise he doesn't oath. Committee appointments. The chairman plays a significant role in the appointment of members to various parliamentary committees and provides direction for their functioning. Now we have Supreme Court judgments related to vice president, right? And the chairman of the he is the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Now Quixote Holohan versus Zajil who 1992. It upheld the validity of 10th schedule anti-defection. Quixote Holohan versus Zajil case uphold the validity of the 10th schedule. It has uphold the validity of the 10th schedule is nothing but the anti-defection law. The 10th schedule is nothing but the anti-defection law. Affirm the role of chairman of the Rajya Sabha in deciding cases of disqualification of the members on the grounds of defection. So, disqualification, or actually defection itself is upheld in this case, and the role of chairman's decision of disqualification. S. Sundaram Pillai versus V.R. Pattabhiraman, 1985. This case highlighted the procedural powers of chairman of Rajya Sabha, emphasizing the decisions made by the chairman in maintaining order and conduct within the house are generally not subject to the matters within the house with respect to conduct of order and decorum is not under judicial review, provided they are within the constitutional bounds. So, Sundaram Pillai versus V.R. Pattabhiraman case 1985 highlighted the procedural powers of the chairman. The chairman is having certain powers. Therefore, whatever he does to maintain the order and conduct does not subject to judicial review, but they are within the constitutional limits. Now, amendments and reforms. The Constitution, 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003, it strengthened the anti-defection law by enhancing the role of chairman in curbing defection and ensuring party discipline within Rajya Sabha. Rules of procedure and conduct of business of the India Council of States, Rajya Sabha. These rules, periodically amended, outline the specific powers and responsibilities of the chairman, including the conduct of debates, voting procedures, and handling of privileges and immunities. Vice President of India as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. This is conclusion, guys. The Vice President, being the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, holds a position of great responsibility and influence. This role is pivotal in ensuring the effective functioning of the Rajya Sabha, maintaining legislative decorum and upholding the constitutional principles. Through various constitutional provisions, Supreme Court judgments, amendments, the framework within which the chairman operates has been well defined, allowing for a balanced and efficient legislative powers. The chairman's impartiality, fairness, and adherence to the rule of law are crucial in preserving the dignity and efficacy of Rajya Sabha as a legislative body. Now, the next question. Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and a lawyer of the Government of India. Discuss. Again, we need to include constitutional provisions, any Supreme Court judgments with respect to Attorney General of India and amendments. We know the article 76, only one article with respect to Attorney General, right? Now, Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and he's the lawyer of the government. Attorney General is the chief legal advisor and the lawyer of the government, right? Attorney General of India holds a pivotal role as the chief legal advisor to the Government of India and represents the government in legal matters. This position is enshrined in Indian Constitution and carries a significant responsibility and power. Constitutional provisions, we have Article 76 with respect to Attorney General. This article of the Indian Constitution outlines the appointments, duties, and functions of the Attorney General of India. So he has appointment, duties, function, everything comprised within Article 76. What is the appointment? President of the India is appointing the Attorney General. Attorney General must be a person qualified to be appointed as a judge. He is having qualifications of the judge of Supreme Court. And the president, not the parliament, right? President, he is not having any fixed tenure. They must have been a judge of the High Court. What is the qualifications to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court? He or she must have been a judge of the High Court for at least 5 years or an advocate of the High Court for 10 years or an eminent jurist in the president's opinion. So, appointment of the Attorney General. The President of the India is the one who appoints the Attorney General. Attorney General must be a person who is qualified to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court. He is none other than the judge of the Supreme Court. That is, he must be a High Court judge for 5 years or 10 years practicing as an High Court advocate or an eminent jurist in President's opinion. Duties and the functions. Attorney General gives advice to the Government of India upon the legal matters and performs other duties of legal character as may be referred or assigned to them by the President. It is referred or assigned to them by President, not the Council of Ministers or Parliaments assigns them, not even the Prime Minister. Only the President assigns certain duties, responsibilities to the Attorney General. Right? Attorney General, he appears on behalf of the Government of India in all the cases in the Supreme Court and in any case in the High Court in which Government of India is concerned. Wherever there is a case in which Government of India is concerned, he appears on behalf of Government of India. Attorney General has the right to speak and take part in proceedings of both the houses of the parliament and their joint sitting, but without the right to vote. Both the houses of the parliament as well as the joint sitting, but he is not having the right to vote. We have terms of removal. He holds the office during the pleasure of the president. We need to mention a word, right? When there is no term, how do we mention it? We say that he holds the office during the pleasure of president is a beautiful word to describe it. Pleasure of the president. Attorney General, he resigns by submitting a written resignation to the President. Pleasure of the President, and he resigns by submitting the resignation to the President. Supreme Court judgments is S.P. Gupta versus Union of India 1981, P.V. Narasimha Rao versus the State 1998. So we have two Supreme Court judgments with respect to Attorney General, where in the first judgment, S.P. Gupta versus Union of India in 1981, the Supreme Court elaborated the role of Attorney General, emphasizing the Attorney General's duty to the court, ensuring that justice is done, advising the government without any bias. In Narasimha Rao case, P.V. Narasimha Rao case 1998, the Supreme Court highlighted Attorney General's role to give impartial and honest advice to the government. He should not be biased with respect to the ruling party or whatever it might be. He should give a honest advice to the government and maintaining the balance between executive and the judiciary. Executive and judiciary balance. He serves as a balance between executive and judiciary. Amendments. No, there was no specific amendments. Development. He's even started appearing in various tribunals and representing the government in international legal forums. So, what is the analysis and conclusion? Attorney General is constitutionally established position with significant responsibilities, acting as a chief legal advisor to the government. So, when we are telling that he is a chief legal advisor to the government, he appears in the tribunals and he represents the government in the international forum. Legal forum, this is an important statement to be mentioned. The Attorney General's duties extend beyond mere representation to include providing unbiased and impartial legal advice to ensure the rule of law is upheld. Importance of the Attorney General. Legal advisor. So he is a legal advisor, representation in the courts, parliamentary role. He takes part in the parliamentary proceedings. Right. So he is a legal advisor on the government of the government on legal issues, ensuring that its actions comply with the law. Representation in the courts. Attorney General represents the government in crucial cases affecting the public policy and the governance. Parliamentary role. By participating in parliamentary proceedings, the Attorney General ensures that legal perspectives are considered in legislative proceedings. What are the challenges with respect to the Attorney General? Independence is a challenge. Maintaining independence while being a part of the executive is crucial for Attorney General to provide unbiased legal service. He is a part of the executive, right? Balancing act. Attorney General must play the duty of the government and the duty of the court, ensuring justice and legality. What is the conclusion? Attorney General of India plays a critical role in legal framework of the country, ensuring that government's actions are legally sound and representing its interests in legal matters. The constitutional provisions and judicial interpretations underline the importance of Attorney General's impartiality and independence, essential for upholding the rule of law and justice in India.